Greetings, citizen, and welcome to the Hidden Dagger Inn. I'm your host, I'll P on you, and today we're going to be discussing everything you need to know about mounts, mules, and dragons in the world of Vera. So without further ado, let's get started, Peon.
Ready to work.
So as we start to discuss mounts, there's going to be 4 different types of mounts you can get. And you're probably saying to yourself, Peon, well, what's the 4th one? Well, stick around to the end and I'll tell you. The first type of mounts you're going to encounter when you enter the world of Vera will pretty much be the gold standard for some time. These racial specific mounts, depending on your starting area, will be able to be obtained through a quest. The first mounts that you obtain are simply going to be referred to as land mounts or ground mounts. Now as we start to progress through the game and get more prestige, along comes the opportunity to get the next type of mounts. This would be the tier 2 mount, the gliding mounts. Gliding mounts are a winged mount that jump and glide or hover close to the ground. So like the name suggests with gliding mounts, they will not have true flight. Though the higher level the gliding mount is, the further it will be able to travel. The whole mount system in general, especially the gliding system, just screams to me Arcade, which had a huge presence with gliders, and gave you a chance to reach some very hard terrain and explore the world and look for special secrets. Gliding will require some skill in relation to gauging the speed and the distance needed to get to the desired location. Now, if you're one of the lucky few that are either a mayor of a metropolis or a king or a queen of a castle, they will have the ability to turn the gliding mounts to be able to fly for them, assuming they have the appropriate stables to do so. And now it's time to talk about the creme de la creme of mounts. As we come up to the tier 3, we're going to start to discuss the royal mounts and dragons. These are gifted mounts and reserved for mayors, kings, and queens of castles. If you're riding one of these, your name will be known across the lands of Era. These are the mounts that everyone will drool over and hope that someday they will be lucky enough to ride one. Also, similar to Arcade, only where monthly voted heroes were able to ride dragons. These are status symbols. These dragons are 3 to 4 times larger than gliding mounts. These dragons are going to present major issues in battles, and they're going to provide strong battle abilities such as AoE breath attacks, flybys, and many more. The dragons are going to have a lot of capability in PvP. It's really the reason they exist, because it relates to castles and node sieges that they are in. Now, being that they're so strong, it's been mentioned by Steven that these mounts will only be able to be mounted at the royal stables, which you can have over at the castles with the king and the queen. Now, the mayor of a metropolis, on the other hand, is going to have to put a work order in for it, and he's going to have the help of his citizens to do quests to help build it. So you better be nice, Mayor.
Work complete.
Well, if you're saying to yourself, geez, Peon, these dragons sound like they're really overpowered. Well, they are quite powerful, but there will be a flight time associated with them, and they can be killed. And as we discussed the last type of mount, if you're still with me, I have a bonus mount in store for you at the end. The next type of mount is really cool. It allows guild leaders of a castle to use undermounts, such as wormlings, to guild officers during a siege. These can only be granted if the castle nodes are successfully established prior to the siege. Steven has said, for an example, that Node A grants 1 undermount, B grants 2 undermounts, and C grants 2 undermounts. So if you're saying to yourself, I'm just an average peon, how am I ever going to get one? I'm never going to be a guild leader, and no one's going to vote for me for mayor. Well, have no fear, because peon is here. You can, if you're lucky, obtain an egg through a legendary boss drop. So the important thing to remember about that last category of the legendary boss and them dropping an egg is that they do die. So it's unlike the kings and the queens and the mayors, where as long as they have the title, they're able to go ahead and pull them out. Now, one of the things that I believe is to be undetermined yet is whether you can sell that raid boss egg if you were to find it. Now, that would be a serious bag of loot. If that information's already been released and I was unaware of it, please leave a comment below to correct me in case I was wrong. So if you're still watching, first I want to say thank you, but also I promised you a bonus, and here it is. These mounts were unlocked during the Kickstarter crowdfunding. These are group mounts. These mounts will be elephant-sized or larger. Now, the group mounts are going to be even more rare and more difficult to obtain than regular mounts. There will be a player limit on the number of passengers that can ride on it, and it is possible that weapons may be an option for different group mounts. And a quote from Steven is, the group mount is going to be very difficult mount to achieve, but once achieved, it's going to be very fun and pivotal in gameplay. One of the neat things is that the mount appearance might also change depending on what season it is and also what time of day it is. And if you're asking yourself, can I name my mount Fluffy? Yes, you can name your mounts. And the final important note to remember about mounts is you can have mount barding. The higher level of the barding, the better looking it will be. The barding will also have multiple components, which the components will increase your stats of the mount and also the hit points or speed. So in summary, mounts are going to have many great options and utilities in Ashes of Creation. If you're a mount lover, this game is for you. I hope you learned a little bit about the different types of mounts in Vera today and how they will work. If you're still watching and you enjoyed this video, please hit that like and subscribe button, as being a new channel, it really helps with the algorithm gods. Also, please stop by the Hidden Dagger Inn on Twitch and say hi. We also have a Discord that is open to the community. The links will be below. Thank you so much, Vera, and take care.